Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting of October 10th, 2023. Just so that everyone knows, members of the public can be present in the council chambers during the meeting, and also public members can observe the meeting via Zoom, which the link is always attached to the agenda. And the meeting will also be posted and published to the city's YouTube site after the meeting is over. So the first item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes. I have two sets of minutes to be adopted tonight. The first one is the Governance and Operations Committee meeting of September 25th, 2023. And the second one is the regular council meeting, September 25th, 2023. And the recommendation before you is that the minutes of the Governance and Operations Committee meeting and the regular council meeting, both held on September 25th, 2023, be adopted as circulated. Councillor Martin and Councillor Wilson, second. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. So we have three sets of delegations tonight, and the first one up is Christy Calder, and she's here to give us some more information on the 2026 Winter Games. Christy, awesome.
Hello. So for those in the room I don't already know, my name is Christy Calder. I'm the manager of recreation and events up in Rossland. So you guys all have the for information only report in front of you on your agenda from Tricia back in June about the 2026 Winter Games. So I'm not going to take long. I know you guys have three delegations. I'm just going to go through a couple highlights and then you guys can ask any questions you'd like. So the biggest highlight that I really want to push forward is that if we do a big push from council now, both Rossland and Trail, then we can diminish the work later on. So we need to form a committee selection. And then we can move forward with selecting the committee. So the same report went in front of Rossland Council last week. And I believe that the two people on the Rossland Council that will be stepping up will be Mayor Morrell and Councillor Kwiatkowski. So they will be reaching out quite likely to Mayor here. So if you guys want to reach out and put forward, my recommendation would be 2 or 3 members of your council that will work with them. And I can sit in with staff. So typically the BC Winter Games staff wouldn't turn their attention to us until later in 2024, but we're a bit unique because we have 2 communities running the events. So that committee selection process is going to take a little bit longer. So what Tricia and I had talked about back in June is that if we can gather our representatives from both of our councils now, late 2023, I can then work on BC Winter Games staff and get all of us around the table early. And again, the benefit there will be that if we can get that committee started earlier, then they take on the lion's share of the work rather than us as staff and councils. So that's my hope. I don't believe I have anything else that I really want to highlight. You guys are all aware of the dates, February 19th to 22nd, 2026 for the games. And then your report has the recommended timeline for getting the committee in place. And then the other recommendations that Tricia put forward. I'm mostly here for any questions you have.
I'd just like to say how excited I am. I think this is great for our communities to work on a project together, and that would be great for the region as a whole.
I agree.
Christy, did you happen to discuss when you wanted the next meeting to happen?
Between the council, so
yeah.
So my recommendation would be for you guys as a group to select your 2 or 3 members of council that are going to be involved. And then when Mayor Morrell reaches out, they'll have ideas of dates that they're available. If you guys have ideas of dates you're available, then my council can direct me with those dates to reach out to the BC Winter Games staff and try to get them around the same table at the same time. Their focus right now really is in their next games that are taking place next year. So if we can push them to kind of turn their attention to us a little bit earlier and overlap a bit, then once we get that committee in place, we're off to the races and that committee can take on that work.
Yeah, okay.
So if you guys have some recommended dates, I'm assuming if we're getting into mid-October, you know, we'd probably be looking at sometime in November would be ideal. And that'll give me enough heads up to arrange the meeting and assume it'll be digital with BC Winter Games staff.
Okay.
And then I can sit at that table as staff and keep calling up to date on the staffing front.
Awesome. we're excited.
Yes,
And we're
perfect.
excited to be working with Rosalind on this, so
Yes.
it'll be great. Okay, well, as soon as we decide who is going to be the delegates, we'll let you know.
Fantastic. Okay, Colin knows how to get in
Thank you
touch.
so much, Christy.
Yeah, of
Really
course.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's out of your side.
Yep, no problem. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is Dan Rodley and the Trails Community in Bloom.
Well, Mayor and Council. Here again. My time's been back here, but as you know, we had a pretty successful year. We had struggled a little bit. We had 14 more days of sunshine this summer, believe it or not. And no rain. And gas prices stayed up, so it's always a struggle, but we got a judge in here, they liked what they saw, and obviously, I have to thank you all, mayor and council, staff, for your continued support to bring this to fruition and what we do, and all our volunteers back here. There's a few orange shirts back here, and Rachel, of course, Sunny. Darren couldn't be here today, but, and of course, Keith, Hecty, him and Glenn and his team, do a hell of a job with the graffiti, as we know. And of course, we have Mr. Nutini. So we have a young one and an old one. And they all.
He's the oldest volunteer in trail.
Yeah, actually, in all our communities, actually, yes. Yeah, we're almost 93 years, and he keeps us in shape. So this year we competed in the Class of Champions. And we were up against Bruderheim in Alberta and Kinnestein in Saskatchewan. Sounds like, oh, why we're only competing with 2 cities? Well, to be able to get to that level, you have to maintain a high, very high score. And a lot of the other cities that are competing, they're still in the 83 to 85%, which is just not good enough. But we managed to get there. And the other one that was close was Coquitlam. And they are actually a gold city. When you got to gold level, yeah, it's like Stratford and Niagara Falls and quite a few cities in Quebec. And Coquitlam came away with a whole bunch of hardware this time, so congratulations to them. Casper didn't compete, they were just, they were judged, but non-competitive. And we also won the Plants Love You contest, which means that we had to show the judges how we presented all our flowers and the how they went together, so forth, and Rachel and Connie and Martin here, and they really did a bang-up job. And this year's color was purple, and they did a good job there. And I could announce right now that next year's color is just released today by CIB, and it is Smoke Eaters Orange.
Hey.
For next year.
Nice.
So that's what we have to work with. And actually,
Pretty sure ready to go.
so, now we just have to make sure we can get plants, because, we have one greenhouse and close this year, and it's really difficult to get flowers, getting worse and worse. So anyway, we did well, and some struggles. We had the airport. We had to do a good job there, and after what happened, and it turned out pretty good. But we have issues that we have to kind of work on for next year. One of them where we have to get more scores is, which we knew, but it was our tree canopy. It has to be kind of really looked at how we're gonna manage it for the next 5 to 10 years. For instance, we look at some old diagrams and photos. On Bay Avenue alone, we have lost 17 trees. That's gone, which is a high number for any city, it doesn't matter. Pine and cedar, they're better, they're much better. But you can look at Roslyn, what they did in their job. Casco, of course, is very similar, and then Esplanade looks really good. But I think that that's something we have to look at, maybe a couple of trees a year or something like that, that we have to plan what we're gonna, obviously gonna plant, and then how we're gonna maintain them, water bags, whatever we do, right? The other thing is, which we didn't know too much about, was the boulevards. I really looked at those this year. And one of the issues that they brought to forefront was that we allow gravel on boulevards, which is fine. But then we also have a paragraph in there that the city can basically, they're gonna check them to make sure that the homeowners look after them. And just by driving around the trail, you can probably find about 25 boulevards which got rocks in them, and they're full of weeds. Absolutely atrocious. So that's another issue. And we have a bylaw, but we just don't enforce that. Very similar as your sign bylaw in town, where we have businesses that have been closed for close to 18 years now, and the signs are still up. You know, maybe take them down and put them in the museum. It's really, you know, I think it's about 18 to 19 signs up and stuff, which is something, if you have a bylaw, you gotta enforce it. Yeah, and the judge just pointed that out. And same with the tree bylaw, you know, where it says you're gonna plant one tree or cut one tree, you gotta plant one tree. Well, we just don't follow it closely, which they look at, and they come back every year. So the other comments they had, which was kind of interesting, was the museum and library. They thought that we should try to organize tours for newcomers in town, invite them to come out and show them what we got. There's a lot of other cities, they do that, and that's something we should look at. So the tree management, we have, they said they were missing a welcome to trail sign that should be coming from the airport. We thought that that was something that we should be looking at over time. And it's like, where does trail really start? Or do we put it at the airport? That was something they put on. And it's all in the judge's report, which you guys should have. And if you're gonna start putting up new signs, which was talked about for replacing the ones we got, maybe we start thinking about using QR codes too on the signs that will reflect, or going back to your tourism site or any other additional information. There's lots of grants out there, and like the Green Street grants now from Trees Canada, millions of dollars available for trees, for downtown trees. We just don't take advantage of that. So there's money out there. And the other thing was the just going back a little bit further on trees. The trees were mentioned 20 times in the report, which tells you that, okay, they really look at that. And so it's Don Bikini made this up. So it's in the paper the other day, and that is going around to a few shops, places. It's at the airport, right? And I think it's kind of cute to get some more publicity out there. Okay? Well, we have to do that sign there. We have a couple of banners in town that we have to fix. We don't have there right now, but we can look at it fairly, maybe after winter. And there was, I handed out a piece of paper there that tells you how the scoring system work, where we start and how we kind of move forward. So right now, we are at almost the top of the heap. The next one is the Circle of Excellence, which that is competing with any size city, Toronto, Vancouver, wherever. You never know who's gonna be in that one. So this is a very tough competition. Caswell tried for, I think, 3 years. They got better score, but they didn't make it to the winner's circle. That's one thing, and also I had our booklet this year. We have provided a booklet like this since we started. They're available, and I believe the library, the museum has copies of all of them, and it's a good thing to keep, because you can look back and see what the city did like 10, 15 years ago. Tells you exactly what happened, who did what. So we do refer to those booklets, and they are available in PDF form. Really good for like the real estate company that if someone from out of town wants to come to town, they can just email it up. Tells you a lot about our town and what we are. So with that, we have the big things. The trophy. It is granted from the Canadian Shield. Well, Quebec was cut. It's done by the Capital Commission in Ottawa. 24 karat gold. Waste of time. This is the 4th one we got. It's pretty good for a little town. So, and yes, and we have the awards, which is, this is one, Plans Love You, that we won for the greening of our all of flowers downtown. And we have the award that shows that we are Silver Town, which are Silver City. And from here, we just have to keep climbing. So I would like to make a presentation to the mayor. You want to take a photo there, Brian? This one first.
We're gonna try and get all the council in, or?
Up to you.
I would like to, yes.
Get the signs.
Want them in there too?
Sure. Oh, okay, so.
That's
Scary.
But it's an honor because it shows pride in our community.
Orange shirt on the other side for balance. Rachel, you should have been in the.
Yes, a little bit longer.
Thank you. Thank you. So, you guys look at our.
There are a lot of stuff that take.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So,
Before you leave, though, I would like to say a few words. I just want to thank Communities in Bloom for the work that I've done over the last few months here. This is a huge achievement for our community, and I know it wouldn't have happened without the work that all of you have done. I want you to know that we quite often get compliments of the flowers in the community and how beautiful they look, and how clean our city is. When I read the report, I was so impressed by the way the judges talked about the culture it showed in our community, the heritage bed with the rock walls, and how many times they mentioned the volunteers and the work that everyone has done. And what I was really also impressed with was the work that Tech is doing with the reclamation of the yards and that, and what a difference it's making in our community. So we're being recognized for the work that we're doing. It's a positive thing that the city of Trail is being recognized for, and it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the communities in bloom. Before we leave, I do want to recognize Councillor Cashel, who is on Zoom there. I don't know if you can see him, and I want to thank him for the work that he's done as well. So you can be here, Nick.
Yeah, I thank you, Mary Jo. I send my regrets, Dan and Landa and Rachel and crew and volunteers. I would have liked to have been there, but anyway, reasons that I won't disclose are keeping me at home. Well done to everyone. It's been great being part of the committee. I've been kind of away for the last bit. I appreciate Mary Jones kind of stepping in there at the end and representing council on my behalf or on our behalf. And I'm just really proud to be a part of the committee. You guys bring great press to Trail. You do Trail proud, and I just can't say enough. I could go on here for a long time with accolades, but just really appreciate everything that you guys do for our city. And thank you, Mary Jones, for the opportunity to speak.
Yes, thank you. So thank you guys for all the work
Just
that you do.
one little comment.
Oh.
I had a judge, the head judge, he phoned me, but a week before this happened, and it says, you better be there. Yeah, they're not, actually, it's top secret, but anyway, they're not supposed to say anything, but you're supposed to be at the conference in Fort McMurray, right? And that's where you network with all, because every judge that goes all over the world, I mean, we had Italy, we had Ireland, we had Korea, we had, and they all are there, huge delegations show up. But you network with the judges, because next year, some of those judges could be here. You know, I mean, we don't know who we're gonna get. And if you're not there, you know, it sends a signal that you don't care. Unfortunately, because of budgetary things, we decided not to go, but it was noted apparently. We were not there,
Okay.
so.
And we should also note that Darlene Kolosky from Communities of Bloom Castlegar kind of represented us there and kept us informed about what was going on and called us immediately when we won and brought all this stuff back with her for us, so it was nice of her to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay, any questions? No?
No, I don't think, does council have any questions or?
Just a big
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
So I would say Councillor Nick Cashel and Mayor Colleen, they have actually been out in the gardens doing some of the work. I mean, they show up and volunteer. They don't just sit back and say, oh, well, we're running the city, we don't have to do this. They actually show up, and Nick has been to all our meetings and they show up when we need people to get hands-on and, you know, getting planting done and weeding and stuff. And so I wanted to thank you for that, and I hope the citizens of Trail know that you guys are out there helping us as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Lana.
Yes. So get well, we got some pots to clean.
Okay. Okay, we'll just let you gather your stuff up while we move on to the next agenda item. And we have Heather Van Family Action Network. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you. Good evening. So I'm here today as the Executive Director of the Family Action Network. My name is Heather Glenn. You're also Glenn is just fine as well. That last name can be a mouthful. So thank you for giving the Family Action Network the opportunity to speak to you today. So the goal of our presentation is just to reintroduce ourselves to all of you, who we are, what we do for and with our communities. I'm relatively new to this role. I've been in this position for 2 years, taking over Christy Anderson, who was in it for many years before me. So Family Action Network started in 2011 as a regional coalition focused on developing caring communities that actively support families to live an optimal life experience and to ensure that community agencies throughout our region leverage and invest resources where they will have the most positive investment in return for families. We currently have 5 programs that we help ensure we're meeting the needs of our community. The first program is our navigation services, so families know about and can access supports and programs to support child development and healthy families. Our Check Early, Check Often program that offers opportunities for families with young children to participate in early childhood developmental checkups throughout the year. We have special projects that we're offered as community needs and gaps are identified, such as parent support groups. We have our Easy Peasy Family washrooms. You may or may not have seen signs in the community with little Easy Peasy logos. That would be us working with local businesses and community partners to open up their washrooms for families. Some of them have nursing stations, so parents that are nursing can go in and utilize that. And we're also in the process of offering a kindergarten transition support group for families that are navigating away from the early years into the primary years. One of our biggest commitments is our community engagement work, which is to build local capacity and offer a collaborative backbone piece to community support services, where we are the conveners of a number of service providers to come together, to work together to see what we can do to help and support families better in our region. So FAM convenes that table and facilitates that work. And lastly, we're just a brand new program we just started. We are the operators of the Roslyn Youth Action Network now, and so we're building our capacity to make this the best place to raise a family with all family types for all children aged 0 to 18. Current economic and social conditions, post-COVID measures have changed many aspects of our lives, as many of you are well aware. So as a result, we do find our organization is needed now more than ever. As a local community convener and with our dedication to family engagement, we are at the front of all topical issues relevant to our local children, our youth and families. We understand the need is so much greater now, and our role to fill gaps is ever expanding. We ensure that local service providers in our community are working collaboratively to identify our assets and subsequent gaps, and that we together can make an impact by offering supports, programs, and services to address any outstanding needs. We also directly facilitate needed programs with our community partners to ensure children, family, and youth are moving beyond surviving to thriving. Just for an example, one of our long-standing programs, which is our Check Early, Check Often program, not one organization in our community offers these, so this is early childhood screening where we check for developmental hiccups or delays, and people may recognize that word a bit better. So nobody in community does that work. So the Family Action Network, in collaboration with our community partners, we do buy two events every year, plus we offer in programs with preschools and child care centers. We come in and we do these checkups. As some of you may know, if a child is identified as having some sort of developmental hiccup, the funding is now between the ages of 0 and 6. If those hiccups are identified in school, unfortunately, there's very long wait lists. And for the publicly funded supports and privately funded, there's few and far between enemies in our community, but even so, they're hard to access for low income, multi-barriered families. So that's something that Family Action Network has taken on since 2015, and we continue to actively engage in early childhood developmental checkups. A new a new identified need, or not a new identified need, but something that FAN has taken on recently is we are now convening a working group to address the childcare crisis locally. So we've just started meeting and convening and working on a plan to make some significant movement around this issue. And so FAN is just there to support that work and to offer the community engagement piece and the convening piece for that group. So we do, like I said, we often involve community in our process. We never do anything without community, families' input. So whatever we do, it's because the families say that that's what's needed in our community. So we do 2 times a year formally. We engage with families, so that's through surveys and focus groups, but we also informally connect with families. We have a community navigator outreach worker that goes out in the community and just touches space where families are, and see what the needs are and what would better support them. So some of the things that have come from that is our parenting conversation cafe. So that was supporting families with children that were in the preschool years. They were feeling very isolated. There's food insecurity. So we designed these parenting conversation cafes where they can connect. And then also from that, we're doing the kindergarten transition parenting connection groups. We're also in the process of developing a local mental health parenting peer support in collaboration with Family Support BC, which is another nonprofit. And we're working also with Backpack Buddies, which is a provincial nonprofit, but we have a local representative here and they offer food to fill the gaps for families on the weekends. So we're working in collaboration with them to help supply healthy, locally grown food. As mentioned, we've also taken on the Roslyn Young contract with the City of Rossland so that we can continue to support families in our region, building on the idea that it takes a village to raise a child and healthy families to create vibrant and thriving communities. So there's a lot of work that we do. We never duplicate services. We always do it in collaboration and in conjunction with what's already existing and work on the assets in our community. And so we aim to support families in a very holistic way. Just building on the successes that are already happening here. We are funded primarily through grants, sponsorships, cash and in-kind donations. We also have a very dedicated and committed team of board members and staff that are very passionate about community and social development through the lens of children, youth, and families. And we also try to frame our work within that equity deserving lens and supporting issues around climate, poverty, and gender equity. So again, thank you for allowing me to come and speak with you today and just to share with you what we do at FAN. If you have, I did bring magnets, I think, with my contact information, but if you have any questions or concerns or things you want to talk to me about, I'm here.
Thank you, Heather. Any questions from Councillor Hanson?
As a mom with young kids, I can definitely say the developmental checkups are outstanding for those families that need to get their kids checked before they get into that school system. Because it seems almost that once they get into the school system, they are a number and get lost. So I think, even one of the preschool educators also said, a lot of these kids are going into school that don't know, that haven't been identified, but we can see it.
Yeah.
And so something like this is outstanding to get the process started and to get parents the help that they need is key. So thank you so much for the work you're doing.
I'm glad we can offer that, yeah.
That's great. Any other questions from council? Okay, thank you, Heather.
Thank
Yes,
you.
that was lots of information. That was
Yeah,
great.
sorry.
No, that was good, thank you. Okay, so, moving on, the next item on the agenda is the public question period. So any questions from the public tonight? No? Okay. Having seen none, we will move on to communications. And the item number 4.1 is unsightly premises, 1414 1416 Ash Street. And I'll hand this over to Ms.
Thank you, Your Worship.
council has before them tonight reporting regarding a property. It's actually a duplex property, which is why it has two addresses, but it's one single building at 1414 and 1416 Ash Street. They have been requested to remove an accumulation of overgrown vegetation on the property. Photographs are provided for council's consideration. It is recommended that you issue an order this evening requiring the owner to remove the vegetation. The property is currently vacant and uninhabited. The property owner is a non-resident of the city.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Lucchini on this item? No? Having seen no hands up, is someone wanting to make a recommendation? Councillor Butler, Councillor Wilson? All those in favor? Carried unanimously, thank you. Item 4.2 is proclamation request Foster Family Month. The recommendation is that council proclaim the month of October 2023 as Foster Family Month in the city of Trail. Someone willing to take? Councillor Butler and Councillor Wilson. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thanks, everyone. Council committee reports. Councillor Benson, you're up first tonight.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. Let me start my report. Short report for me. On October 3rd, I attended the monthly Trail Community Action Team meeting. The committee will be working on youth outreach over the next little while and hoping to bring the new youth intensive case management team to an upcoming meeting to explain their services. If you all remember, this was the team that Interior Health introduced us to during their council visit that was going to be working through the school district. And on October 4th, I attended an online collaboration session hosted by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs regarding the BC Provincial Nominee Program and challenges in attracting international talent outside of Metro Vancouver. Obstacles include, and none of these are surprising, housing supply, settlement support, and other competing nomination programs, such as Alberta's Rural Renewal Stream. From our session, additional feedback that we provided were the doctors' shortages in rural areas and the lack of walk-in clinics and some other items. I felt it was a timely session, as earlier today, council received a letter from Carolyn Amantea from CBAL introducing us to the West Kootenay Local Immigrations Partnership. So I look forward to welcoming Carolyn at an upcoming meeting to learn more about our local supports for our international newcomers. And that's my report. I hope you.
Thanks, Councillor Benson. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. On the 3rd, I attended the Trail Community Action Team meeting along with Councillor Benson, and on the weekend, previously attended with yourself and fellow councillors the Truth and Reconciliation events at the library, which I want to thank staff for the effort that went into bringing that again important weekend to the forefront here in Trail. So thank you. That's it on my report.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Cashel.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. I bring a sad report from the library board. On October the 6th, library board members were informed by our board chair, Jeff Jones, of the passing of Joanne Biestra. Joanne was a member of our board since 2018 and was our vice chair. On behalf of the board of the Trail and District Public Library, our director, Samantha Murphy, Mayor Jones, and council and city staff, I'd like to extend our sincere condolences to Joanne's family, loved ones, and friends, and express our sincere sorrow for your loss. She will be sorely missed at our board table. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor Jones.
Thank you, Councillor Cashel. Councillor Hanson.
Okay, so I chaired the Trail Health and Environment Committee because Mayor Jones was unable to attend. on the 27th, which was our third quarter meeting. Great reports from tech that the fugitive deaths are reduced an additional 26% as of 2022 from 2017. Also, the addition of the KIVSET dual dryer has brought the SO2 reduction down 33%. So that's outstanding. The work that they're doing is just fabulous for our community. Following that, we had another meeting with a debrief with the Trail Health and Environment committee members for our knowledge sharing and learning, where we had the respective ministers here in June about what that's going to look like moving forward with the ministers. As well, the 4th, I actually connected with Melissa Weaver, who's the Rural Advisor for BC Centre for Rural Economic Development. And she provided me with a bunch of information, federal programming, benefits, statistics, and funding for rural municipalities that we can work with them for how they can help us. And that will be my report.
Thank you, Councillor Hanson. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. On behalf of council, I have attended the following meetings. On September the 26th, through the regional district, I attended West Kootenay Transit meeting. On September the 27th, another regional district was a board meeting in Grand Forks. On September the 28th, with yourself and Councillor Benson, attended the Take the Height Foundation celebration at the Kootenay Columbia Learning Center. On September the 30th, with yourself and other councillors, I also attended the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation celebration at the Riverfront Center. And today, I attended a Regional District East End Services Committee meeting and also a Regional District East End Curbside Collection Working Group meeting, which was pretty interesting, as everybody probably expects. So, as usual, if any of you have any specific questions about any of these topics or any of these meetings that I have attended, you can contact me and I can get some detailed information for you. That's it.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. And Councillor Wilson.
Yes, Your Worship. On September the 27th, I attended down to the location of the proposed shelter site with a group of concerned citizens from Riverside Avenue. We had a really nice conversation down there and felt like the folks wanted a chance to voice their concerns. And perhaps at the meeting we had about the temporary permit, they didn't get a chance to do it. So it was a good conversation, it was very respectful, and I encourage other folks, if you have concerns, to contact us, just like they did, because that's what we're here to do, is to work with those concerns. So I thank you to those folks who invited me down. It was a good meeting, and I look forward to many more if I get invited to them. And one more thing to report on is thank you to the city staff, because I hear their hands are very full with the new rollout of the garbage. So thank you guys for your hard work and hang in there, I guess. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Wilson. Okay, so I'll do my mayor's report. As several of you have mentioned, I did do the opening remarks for the Truth and Reconciliation event down at the Trail and District Public Library Museum, and it was actually a really nice event. It was a lot of orange shirts in the crowd. The weather was a little bit chilly, but you know what? They had a lot of good workshops to visit and booths to go and get information at, and a lot of kids were there, and it turned out to be a really a great day. So I just want to thank staff and all the volunteers who put that together. It was lots of fun, actually. And that evening I did join the Communities in Bloom committee while we awaited the results of the symposium in Fort McMurray to see if we had received any rewards. And as you saw earlier, we did receive quite a few rewards, and just thanks to everybody on that committee for the time and energy that they put into the Communities in Bloom. I too attended the Take a Hike program, Take a Hike celebration of 10 years. And the Take a Hike program is a mental health and social emotional well-being program that utilizes land-based learning to facilitate youth development. And its goals is to minimize barriers for vulnerable youth and to help them succeed in school and beyond. It's an amazing program. we had quite a few a couple of the people that had gone through the program, the youth, speak, and it was very emotional, and they were very appreciative of the program. And I would like to take this time to thank the foundation for the work that they do. Youth struggling with mental health and behavior issues, and they had an opportunity to choose another community, and I'm so glad that they choose Trail to work in, because they've done some really amazing work with our youth. October 4th, I had the pleasure of presenting opening remarks at the inaugural Amazing and Aging Seniors Health and Wellness Fair, and this is a new event for Trail, and it showcases many senior services and resources available in our area for seniors. There were many exhibitors in the Victoria View Room and the hallway of the arena, and in the arena gymnasium was a dance, and it was set up in the afternoon from 2 o'clock on to 4 o'clock, and our Citizen of the Year, Peter McCorduff, played his music, and people were dancing, got up on the dance floor, and seemed like they were having a really good time. So I wanted to take this time to thank the age-friendly South Kootenay seniors, the Lower Columbia Better at Home program, and the Trail and District Public Library, and the staff at City at Trail for making this inaugural event such a success. I just wanted to mention that 2 short weeks here. I think we fit a lot into those 2 short weeks, so I just want to thank council for the work that they did in the last couple of weeks, and keep up the good work. So on to item number 6, under new business. Any new business from council?
I guess essentially it may not be a new business, but I do want to reach out, and I really want to thank the landlords that have been reaching out to CDS and asking how they can help with the homeless, and how CDS has been providing support between the previous shelter guests and new landlords, and that there have been 10 homeless homed since August. And so I just wanted to commend the landlords and CDS for the work they've been doing to work on that on behalf of council.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Oh, sorry, Councilor Benson. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I probably need a bit of help from Mr. McClure and Ms. Lucchini on this, but at the previous meeting, I did make a motion for more information on what the rules were regarding the decriminalization and where those rules were exempt at the last meeting. And since then, they have broadened it and I think been a bit more explicit in terms of what is the requirement. So I just wanted to know what happens to that motion as now we have a bit more clarity from the province.
It's a good question. I think that we still need to investigate it.
Okay.
So there's still to be done. There's a broader, I think, question as to with the new rules and how that's going to work with the city itself. And now that we've just got them, we'll need some time to digest it.
Okay.
I think that it's still relative. It's a
Okay.
we get a little further than we wanted, but I think it's something that we plan to think about report back on.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I actually did have an item I wanted to bring up. We all received that email this afternoon from Mr. Hannock, Terry Hannock, concerned about the safety issues on the Up the Gulch. And I know that when we were looking at putting the shelter out there, that came up quite a few times while we were debating whether or not the shelter should go there. The safety issues were quite apparent. So I'm just wondering, I would like to put a motion forward, I guess, that we write a letter to Highways Department in support of doing some kind of safety precautions up there, whether it's a flashing yellow light or however they can highlight that school crossing, when the kids get off the bus and they come across the street. So yeah, that would be my motion, that we write a letter to Highways, BC Highways, and see if they can just showing our support for Mr. Hannock's letter.
I'll second it.
Okay, Councillor Martin second, Councillor,
Favor?
all those in favor?
All of
Carried unanimously, thank you. Any other new business? No? Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the department reports. You have before you the bylaw enforcement department reports for September 2023. And the recommendation is that this report be received for information. Councillor Wilson, Councillor Hanson, all those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And the next item on the agenda is adjournment. Councillor Benson and Councillor Martin. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Dina.